Surprise! I know we said there was no episode, but my plans, it fell through, so we're here. We'll get another episode, episode 8. Alex is laughing. You okay? You okay, pal?
It was so disingenuous.
Oh, man. That's another laugh.
Okay, I'm good.
You good, pal? All right. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to go to the Hawks game tonight, but because of the weather, we couldn't go, so we did the show today. So that's that. So how you doing, Alex?
I'm fantastic after that intro.
That was a good intro. But yeah, we're doing all right. You know, I mean, the Alex Brown vlogs. You know, we're staying professional.
We are keeping it real.
We're keeping it professional. But so we got ourselves another show today, and we're not going to do the rapid fire since we did it last week. And I think we're gonna have a good show today. We're gonna have a good show today, and you know, we had the AEW pay-per-view this past Saturday, and our boy MJF won the world title. Yes, he beat Jon Moxley, won the world title, and our boy's the champ. Our boy's the champ.
Let's go.
Yeah. We're not gonna talk about Sammy's match because you know he's lost, but so that's that. But all right, NFL Steelers lost. Surprise, surprise.
They scored 30 points.
Yeah, but like that, the last touchdown was garbage.
Okay.
It's garbage points. It was garbage.
But they're starting to score points.
Yeah, that's good. And Kenny, I thought Kenny looked his best. He looked his best so far.
Dude, back-to-back games, the Steelers have rushed for at least 100 yards as a team.
Yep.
It's great. Like you said, Kenny Pickett, not bad. 25 for 42. I mean, 59% completion percentage was a little low. But 265 yards and a touchdown, I mean, you can't complain about that. George Pickens had a very big game, 4 receptions for 83 yards. Najee Harris also had a massive game, 20 carries, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I finally started Najee again, and it paid off for me in fantasy. Steelers O-line only allowed 2 sacks this week. That is great compared to normal because they're usually awful. Pat Freiermuth also had a big game, 8 receptions for 79 yards. And as I said, the Steelers now have rushed for at least 100 yards as a team in back-to-back football games, and the offense is finally starting to look competent as a unit. Mm-hmm. I couldn't be any happier about it, even though they lost.
Yeah, and it's a rebuild year. Like we keep saying. And honestly, I don't know about you, but I mean, there was still some problems with Kenny.
Yeah.
But I thought he looked his best. That first of all, second quarter, he had a great second quarter.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened. The next 2 quarters, I don't know what happened. It just fell off. Especially the defense too. But man, hey, speaking of the defense, what about that pick from TJ Watt?
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
He's good at those. It happens all the time.
Oh, dude, he is crazy good. I honestly think he's the best defensive player in the NFL. I think it goes him and then Aaron Donald.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's just crazy, and he's worth every cent they pay him.
Yeah,
he really is.
Aaron Donald's having an off year, so I would.
Yeah.
I think I'd put my second best defensive player right now as Micah Parsons, but.
Yeah, that's and the Cowboys are playing well too.
Cowboys are playing really well.
They're playing really well, and they blew out the Vikings.
Hammered the Vikings.
I have no idea what happened there with the Vikings, man, and
they lost to the Packers again.
Yeah.
And they got mad.
Yeah, and. Yeah, no chain wearing for Kirk Cousins. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, Kirk ain't got 8 chains on or whatever it is this week.
That's not this week. Maybe Taylor Heineke can.
Yeah.
Tyler, is it Taylor or Tyler?
Taylor.
I get his name mixed up because I really don't pay attention to the Commanders that much. But but yeah, so I don't know what happened with the Vikings. That was just off. But yeah, man, the Steelers. I mean, they looked better, but still, they just. I think they should have won that game overall.
Yeah, they went really flat after the second quarter.
It was really a winnable game in my opinion.
They were really going back and forth for a while. I think it was like 24-23 at one point or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
And then they jumped out to like 37-23, and then it ended up being 37-30.
Yeah, it was something like that. And I'm gonna tell you what. I mean, also if you think about it, Kenny would have had 3 passing touchdowns. If the balls weren't dropped. And, well, okay, I saw somebody blame him for that deep ball that was, like, overthrown, but George Pickens could have got that.
Yeah.
He just tripped, but guess what? That happens. I'm not mad about that. No. People lose their traction when they run. It happens.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing on the planet to start running.
that's whatever. But Deontay Johnson, man, it just seems like he's just given up.
He's just a no-show in a lot of these games.
Yeah,
And we just paid him too.
Yeah, honestly, I would consider just maybe trading him next year or like see what you can get out of him because like he just looks like he's just not putting any effort. It really doesn't.
Another big bottleneck with the Steelers was 8 penalties, by the way, for 70 yards. That was pretty bad. Week after Joe Mixon's bye week when I traded for him, he left the game with a concussion.
I have Joe Mixon too.
So he should be back next week, I believe, actually. In the NFL, he could have played the rest of the game with their standards. We're not going to talk about that. And T. Higgins, with Jamar Chase being out, 9 receptions, 148 yards. He is also that guy, apparently. Samaje Perine, their second running back, had 4 catches for 52 yards and 3 touchdowns yesterday.
Yeah. And hey, did you see that one ball that T. Higgins caught? And he had a nasty fall. Like he jumped in the air and then fell around. Oh my god! Yeah. And it's cold too. Oh god.
He's a good receiver, though.
Yeah.
He's not fast like Jamar Chase, but he's big and he's strong, and he's a good receiver.
Hey, you think about it. The Bengals got some good receivers. They got Higgins, Tyler Boyd. When Jamar Chase is healthy, they got some good receivers.
They have some talent.
Granted, Jamar Chase is out. I'm surprised with the record of what it is. I mean, they're rebounding.
Yeah, their offense hasn't slowed down without Jamar whatsoever, so that's kind of scary to think about what's going to be like when he's back.
Yeah. So that's that. But all right, how about the Chiefs game, man? The game winner by Pat Mahomes. You got me some good points in fantasy. I can tell you that right now.
Me too.
Yeah, he didn't give me good points against you though. We're not going back to that. We're not going back to that.
So Chargers went up 27-23. Kicked the ball back to the Chiefs. Chiefs got the ball with 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. Derwin James got called on a horrible pass interference on 3rd and 5 against Travis Kelce. Not horrible because it was a missed call, horrible because it was just a horrible play by a very elite safety. The Chiefs scored with 31 seconds left on the clock. That means the Chiefs drove down the field and scored the game-winning touchdown in 1 minute and 14 seconds without using a single timeout. Kelce has absolutely embarrassed the Chargers defense for like the 17th game in a row. 6 receptions, 115 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and 35 points for me in fantasy last night. I think if you're a Chargers fan, you really got to start questioning if Brandon Staley's your guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it.
I agree.
I really think you need to start questioning if Brandon Staley's your head coach because I don't think he is. Oh, he's a numbers guy. He's an analytics guy. Well, to be fair, last season against the Chiefs, they lost a game by a field goal where he went like 1 for 6 on 4th down conversion attempt. I don't care if he's an analytics guy because analytics are not football. Analytics are analytics. Football has emotion and momentum and execution and all the things that don't involve numbers. Also, cute little tidbit that I thought I would add, the AFC West outside of the Chiefs spent a combined $1 billion in the offseason to stop the Chiefs, and the Chiefs have clinched the division, and it's not even Thanksgiving yet. Congratulations, AFC West. You're the biggest disappointment in football.
Yeah, man. But, all right. We were going to move on after that, but, man, I was thinking today of, like, what we should talk about, and the Jets game. Like, that was a bad game. It was a horrible, like, honest to God, guys, I honestly think that was on the level of the Colts and Broncos game.
Speaking of which,
horrible.
Did you see the Colts almost beat the Eagles yesterday?
I did.
It was
17-16. What? Like
the Indianapolis Jeff Saturdays, baby.
Is Jeff Saturdays a fantastic coach? What? Like what happened? Like, what's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts, dude? What is going? Oh man, I'm nervous for the Steelers next week. Honestly, Joe. Or I guess next week because it's Monday night.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Saturday. What? And we're going 3-7 with Mike Tomlin. What? God!
The NFL's so weird this year.
I hate the NFL. I hate football.
Anyway,
I hate football,
to
man.
go back to what we were talking about before I distracted you, the Jets and the Patriots combined for 400 yards, which may seem like a lot until you realize 297 of those were the Patriots and 103 of them were the Jets. Zach Wilson went 9 for 22, which is 41%, for 77 yards. But he claims it's not his fault that they didn't win. Mac Jones actually had a very good game. 23 for 27 for 246 yards. That is 85% of his passes completed. The two teams combined to go 7 for 29 on third down yesterday. The Patriots went 4 for 15, and the Jets went 3 for 14. Patriots had a punt return touchdown with under a minute to go to win the game.
So bad. It's so bad.
That
God, there goes my
punt
notebook.
return touchdown had a brutally blatant illegal block in the back by the Patriots that should have gotten it called back, but it didn't. I mean, granted, the Patriots probably could have still gotten field goal range and won 6-3 instead of 10-3. But Mike, I have a little trivia question for you.
I'm probably not going to answer it, but okay.
So, in the second half, the Jets averaged 2.77 blank per play. Your answer options are A, feet, B, inches, and C, yards.
Well, I'm going to have to go yards because that's like NFL.
The New York Jets
football.
averaged 2.7 inches per play in the second half yesterday.
What?
2.7 inches per play.
I don't get it. I
Inches.
What is?
folks. Inches.
I don't get it. I don't get it. What
There's
is
12
up?
of those in a foot.
What is up with football?
And there's 3 of those in a yard.
I don't get it. I hate football. I hate football, man. But
I hate football too.
I just want to rant about football right now. But we actually are going to introduce a new segment right now, and that is called a 1-minute rant with Jay Zemanek. He's going to rant about the Browns. So, and we know what the Browns fans are known for, and that is pain. So, I would like to introduce to all of you a co-host of Edinboro Essentials, Jay Zemanek. Hey, Jay, how we doing?
Hey, we're doing good today.
All right. Here, attack man.
Let's do this.
Hey,
tag, all right.
come on.
Wait.
One.
Oh, I'm going. I'm going.
You know what's the factor of sadness here? The Browns suck this year. Come on, what is going on with this? With them? We are 3-7 right now. When we should be 7-3. We've lost core games. I mean, do we have to talk about that Jets game there in week 2? But come on, seriously, like that game, the Falcons game, the Ravens game, everything. You blew it like Billy Madison at this point. Why do we have to do it like that? And to think Deshaun Watson comes back in 2 weeks? 2 weeks? And what? He hasn't played in 2 seasons. Almost 2 seasons. And we're going to tank. We're going to tank like the former Texans. At this point, just fire Kevin Stefanski. Fire him. Like, wake up. The Browns suck this year. We are the eternal factory of sadness. I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, we should be in the playoffs, but we're not. We're tanking like the Steelers. And Matt Canada is Matt Canada. Come on. What do we do? Browns, get your act together. This is my team, and we're paying. What are you trying to do?
Are you okay?
Stuck in the deal with the free throw. Come on, let's go, Phantom Pain.
Bench. You are on the bench now. That was good. Man, he was heated.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a hey,
Browns fans have every right, but I mean,
I'm a Pirates fan, man, and I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to feel pain to a rebuilding team.
yeah. I mean,
It's not good.
It's been 43 years of pain for Pirates.
Don't remind me. And yeah, you want to know who the greatest player of all time is? Right here, Roberto Clemente. Roberto Clemente. But yeah. So there we go. We got that done. That rant. That was pretty good rant.
Jay's rant is like my brain every week of football.
Oh, absolutely. But all right. So we're gonna start off with our college football talk here with Pitt. They won. They just barely survived. Yeah. Like, honestly, I was honestly rushing with my notes. I forgot to write down the final score, but I know Pitt won, and I was so angry. I don't remember the score. Do you remember the score?
I don't know. I can't remember either. Yeah, I was gonna say no. I don't remember what the score was of the game. So.
Yeah, I mean, I got stats down for Pitt. So they played Duke, and they just barely survived. The quarterback for Duke went 24 for 45 with 290 yards. So that's
not a bad game.
It's okay. Keaton Slovis. 15 for 32, 190 yards.
Oh.
Not good. Not good. Rushing for Duke, Jordan Waters, 7 carries for 35 yards. Jalen Coleman, 12 carries for 33 yards. Rushing, surprise, surprise, Israel Bandakanda, 17 carries, 113 yards. And here's a fun fact. That was Israel Bandakanda's 8th 100-yard game this season.
Wow.
The first
That was
time...
what, like 9 games or something like that?
The first time since 2009, since a Pitt running back did that. And the last Pitt running back to do that was Dion Lewis.
Dion Lewis.
Yes, sir. And Ronnie Hammond, 9 carries, 21 yards. And for receiving for Pitt, Jared Wayne, he got the ball 4 times, 93 yards.
Solid.
And then Camonte Munfield, he got the ball 5 times, 36 yards. So, yeah, man, Keaton Slovis, once again, he's not the guy. And he's thinking about, he didn't walk on senior night, which makes me nervous that he's going to come back. God, it's just, and they got Notre Dame next year. I know that. They got Louisville. They got, I think, Miami again. I'd have to look at the schedule. I cannot imagine Keaton Slovis coming back for next year. I can't. I would honestly throw Nate Yarnell out there against Miami. Why not? You lose the game. You already have a bowl game. You might as well.
Yeah.
And I saw the projections for what game, like the bowl game Pitt will get.
Yeah.
And it was like some Duke's Mayo Bowl against Minnesota. Against Minnesota, so...
I mean, play a Big Ten team.
Okay, so we get to play a Big Ten team, and so not bad, but you wanna know what's funny, though?
What?
They won their next 2. They're 1 game worse than they were last year.
That's fair.
After everything they've been through this year. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
That is crazy. It is crazy. And they were 10 times better last year than this year. I can tell you that right now. Record-wise, I don't know. Record is a record. So that's that. So what do you got on Ohio State?
First of all, crazy week of college football. Tennessee got blown out of the water by South Carolina, 63-38. That happened. TCU almost lost to the defending Big 12 champion Baylor Bears. And who was it? Michigan had a very close call against Illinois this week. So interesting things in college football this week. Anyway, Ohio State, another game of playing really flat in the first half. They were losing 13-10 at one point. I want to say it was actually the third quarter. And then, of course, again, they decided to turn it on in the second half. Anyway, big things for Ohio State. 11 penalties for 97 yards. Absolutely unacceptable. That is horrible. C.J. Stroud, 18 for 30 for 241 and a touchdown. He was efficient. He was accurate. That's all that matters. Mayan Williams was out this game, and Travion Henderson was extremely limited. So in place, Dallin Hayden carried the ball 27 times for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is almost 5.5 yards per carry. Mecca Buka had a decent game, 6 receptions for 82 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 5 receptions for 68 yards. And then Travion Henderson had a 31-yard receiving touchdown. And then for Maryland, the younger of the Tagovailoa brothers had 26 for 36, passing for 293 and 2 touchdowns. Their running back, Roman Hemby, had 11 carries for 39 yards, so there was not much to be spoken about for the rushing game for Maryland. And then Dante Demas was their leading receiver with 5 receptions for 67 yards, followed up by Raheem Jarrett, who had 3 receptions for 65. And again, Maryland also had 97 yards of penalties on 10 instead of 11 compared to Ohio State. So Ohio State won 43-30. Ended up being a bigger margin than it was for most of the game. It looked worse than it was. So Ohio State needs to keep playing well. They need to play a full football game, quite frankly, and that will hopefully translate to a win at home against Michigan in the game this coming Saturday.
Yeah, man. I actually can't wait for Ohio State, Michigan. That should
Me
be
too.
a good game.
It's always a good game.
It should be a good game. And so that's that. By the way, that TCU game, man. That was a crazy ending.
Insane.
That was a crazy ending to pretty good game.
Yeah, really good game.
I watched the ending live, and it was crazy. I was like, they were going so fast. I was like, oh, they're not gonna make it. And then they get the ball, and then they kick it, and then it was good, and like the time was out, and I was
That's
like,
an impressive under pressure moment,
Yes.
and that was extremely gutsy.
I agree.
You as the head coach have to have a lot of faith in your team's coordination to be able to run the ball and in less than 15 seconds get your entire offense off the field and your entire field goal unit on the field, line up, get it right, and kick the ball through the uprights. Especially considering it was like a 40-yard field goal or something like that. I would say it wasn't a chip shot. It was a little further out.
I think so, yeah.
To be able to get it set like that, impressive.
Yeah.
Gutsy, very gutsy.
Yeah, that was very, very gutsy by TCU, and
Yeah. All close games in the top 4 this week, by the way, except for Georgia. I believe Georgia's game was pretty big blowout, but Ohio State game was close, Michigan game was close, TCU game was close. All 4 of the top 4 teams stay in the same positions, though. So pretty much all of these teams, I mean, besides Ohio State, Michigan, but TCU and Georgia basically are locked for the college football playoff at this point, barring some crazy happening. They are pretty much locked in for the college football playoff. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. You got any predictions for who's gonna be number 4? Your final prediction? By the way, Tennessee. Hey, prayers out to Hendon Hooker. Tore his ACL.
Yeah, tore his ACL.
God, man, that's so unfortunate, man.
So who's currently sitting at number? I forget what the rankings are right now.
I don't know. I mean, Joe's not here. We can't ask him.
I know.
Yeah.
Either Michigan or Ohio State's going to lose. So, and that's
Yeah.
a shot at the Big Ten championship right there, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Watch it be somehow Penn State. No, I'm kidding.
so one of them will fall out of the top 4, depending on who loses. And then I guess
I'm gonna go with. I think TCU's gonna make it.
I think TCU's a lock at this point because they're still
Yeah.
number 4 in the country.
Yeah.
So they're already locked in. So as long as they win and then they win the Big 12, they're set. I mean, they're not falling.
Yeah, so we'll see, and it's definitely interesting. It's kind of unpredictable of who's going to make it to. It's not guaranteed who's going to be number 4. Well,
No, it's really not.
Well, I mean, it's not guaranteed for anybody because like anybody can lose, and like okay, Georgia's pretty much a lock at this point.
I mean, yeah, there's not
like-
really any.
But like you said, Ohio State, Michigan, either team could lose that.
Exactly, and whoever does lose is probably out of the top 4.
Yeah, so
At least they should be.
Yeah, it's right there for the taking. Like,
I'll say that even as an Ohio State fan, even if Ohio State loses, they should be out of the top 4.
yep.
They should. They just that's the way it's just the college football playoff system makes no sense to me.
It
That's all I'm
doesn't.
gonna
It
say.
doesn't. It doesn't. And it's kind of like the rankings is stupid too. It's the same reason why Penn State's always ranked all the time.
Yeah, I
like
mean-
they didn't beat any. Did they beat any ranked teams this year? I don't think they did. They beat Auburn, who is probably the worst team in the SEC,
Yeah.
and they lost their head
So-
coach, which I don't get.
So I got it pulled up here. My prediction is USC sitting at number 5. They win the Pac-12. They win out. There could be a Pac-12 team in the college football playoff this year. But you also got to look. Number
Jordan
6
Addison.
LSU. Number 6 LSU has essentially locked their position into the SEC championship. If LSU pulls off a crazy upset against Georgia in the SEC championship, we could see a big shakeup in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. It's
Because they'll probably stay the same even when they win their last game because they don't
Yeah.
play anyone very good.
Yeah.
So if number 6 beats number 1 in the SEC championship, there could be some crazy ripples in the college football playoff. We'll see.
You know, I really don't have problems with USC, and I'm kind of over the Jordan Addison thing because Pitt's, they're just not that good. They're not. Their record may show that they're all right, but like they're not good if you think about it. So I'm not really mad about the Jordan Addison thing anymore. But Colin Cowherd's just gonna be. Oh, he's going to be talking about USC all the time. He's probably going to predict they're going to win the national championship because he's a big USC guy.
I don't think they're built for it yet.
Nah, they're not. I think Georgia's going to go back-to-back, honestly.
They could.
It's going to be weird.
Stetson Bennett
Yeah, it's going to be strange not seeing Alabama in the...
in the playoff at all.
Yeah, that's going to be weird. By the way, does LSU have a chance or no? With their record?
Yeah,
They do? Okay.
they definitely do. Even with 2 losses, I mean, like I said, they're number 6 right now. They beat Georgia in the SEC championship. I'd say they're a lock for the college football playoff.
Yes.
And they're going to be playing tough. They're going to be ripping and clawing at Georgia to try and dethrone the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah. So it's definitely exciting to see. 'Cause
Very.
It's it's kind of unpredictable if you think about it. Cause
It is.
You don't know who's going to be in the top 4, so it's actually kind of exciting. Because I think that's what, to me, in my opinion, was missing. It's like it's always the same teams every year. Like I like seeing somebody like I like to see somebody new every year, like Cincinnati. Who would have thought last year? Good Lord, Cincinnati. And who was the other?
I mean, even Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan hasn't made a college football playoff appearance since the 14 playoff system was adopted. I don't think.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. So we'll keep you guys updated on that and see as the weeks go on. But so once again, it's Boro Tailgate Talks, and we'll talk about Boro basketball next week.
Yeah.
We didn't really have anything prepared because the season just started, so we're kind of just looking at everything and like what to talk about. So we'll get there with Boro basketball eventually. So we'll get that. But Pirates, they made another trade, and I'm kind of shocked. No, they did not trade. There goes the bat. Brian Reynolds bobblehead. They traded Kevin Newman to the Cincinnati Reds. And it's kind of weird to me because they tendered his contract because he was going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
They tendered his contract, and then they traded him.
Weird.
It's weird. It's weird as I try to put the bat back on the bobblehead. It's weird because I was like, why didn't you just trade him at the deadline when you knew your season was over? Because he was starting to heat it up at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So it's like, why didn't you try to trade him? You could have got somebody better. But, I mean, the return they got, it's a pitcher, a right-handed pitcher from the Reds. I can't really pronounce his name that well, so I apologize. But his 2021 numbers, he only pitched 4 games, but his ERA was 2.45. Now, in 2022, his ERA was 5.40, pitching 35 games. That's not good. But, like, give him a shot. You never know. Yeah. You never know. We'll see what happens. I pretty much knew Kevin Newman's time was up. It was time to move on from him because you have O'Neal Cruz, who should be playing shortstop. You got guys like Nick Gonzalez, Luis Peguero, Tucapito Marcano, there's others that were gonna take Newman's spot. It's just it was time. It was time, and I knew Kevin Newman was not going to be on the team when they were ready to compete. So I don't like trading in the division.
That's fair.
It's weird.
It is.
It's weird, but Newman's not that good, like, to begin with. I mean, he had one really good year in 2019. He had like a 306 average, I believe. Like, he was like the second best hitter besides Brian Reynolds that year. So he just fell off after that, and he's a good shortstop, but he's made a lot of errors. And once O'Neal Cruz was ready to go, O'Neal Cruz should have been taking that shortstop position, and he did, and it was time to move on, and they did. So nothing but the best for Kevin Newman. I hope he does well with Cincinnati. Well, I hope he does bad against the Pirates, though. But yeah, man, it's. I don't know. I mean, they traded Jose Quintana to the Cardinals during the season.
Right,
which, once again, it was trading in your division. But I did like the return they got out of Jose Quintana. So, and he didn't really affect against the Pirates at all. And Jose Quintana, he's a free agent, so he's not even on the Cardinals anymore as of right now. So, I mean, you can't really. I'm not really going to judge this trade right off the bat. So. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't know. There's not really much I could say without seeing more about this pitcher they got back.
Yeah, right.
Because like I don't really pay attention to the names on the other team when they get put in against the Pirates. Yeah. So I've really never heard of this guy before. I'm sure he pitched against the Pirates at least once, but so that's that. So all right. That is all we have for today. We are not sure about this yet, but we are possibly planning on doing a show via Zoom during winter break.
Potentially.
Once we know 100%, like that we're gonna do that, we will let you guys know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We would like to keep the show going during the winter. We'll see how. Well, we're gonna figure out how to get it to work and everything. What we need to do.
There's some things to figure out for sure.
Yeah, we got to figure out what to do first, and so we're gonna try to continue the show during the winter. And summertime, that's when we'll take a break. It's our break. I'm busy with work during the summer.
Probably all will be actually.
Yeah, so it just won't be a good time to continue the show. So that's that. So we will see you next week. See this paper toss.
I nailed it. Let's go.
Pay me my royalties.